Ladies and gentlemen, we are a week away from Black Friday, the most wonderful time of the year, which means your social media feed is about to be overrun with an avalanche of results and flexing from the top dropshippers who are going to show you the results of what can happen when you put in the work to this amazing business model. And you may feel some signs of jealousy and insecurity and maybe even reevaluate every single life decision you ever had to try to comprehend why a 15-year-old is driving a supercar and is making 10 times more money than you, despite the fact that they have a lukewarm IQ, most likely can't talk to a woman, and play Fortnite 10 hours a day. Or you'll feel very motivated. And maybe you actually saw results a while back, and that's why you are now dropshipping right now for a few weeks or a few months, but you realize this is a lot harder than it's cracked up to be. For some reason, a 15-year-old has figured this out, yet you, a responsible adult who pays your taxes, who takes care of your grandparents, and goes to brunch every Sunday, still can't crack the code. So what are you missing? And why is it that 99% of dropshippers who come in here with good intentions still fail and give up before they see any success? Well, I boiled it down to 3 different things that I've seen from my 6 years of being in this space, of teaching other dropshippers. And for the fact is, I've been able to make $100,000 a month with my dropshipping stores for the last couple of years now. It feels like I've been doing this since I've been out of the womb, but I've gotten here because of certain habits and identities that I have aligned with and adapted. And I want to teach those to you because if you do adopt these as well, then it will dramatically increase the chances of you becoming successful before it is too late. And then you end up actually just gambling all your money into crypto coins like Milk Coin. And yeah, hey, if you want to gamble your money, more power to you. I'd rather gamble my money by finding a beautiful Latina at the bar tonight, telling her that if you invest all of your life savings into me and we put it all on red at the blackjack table, then we can finally go to Mykonos. We can kiss all of our worries goodbye and move there and never talk to another person ever again. And then inevitably, it lands on black and we lose all of our money and we wake up the next morning and she tries to murder me in my sleep. That seems more fun to me. Now, the first problem I see a lot of people have in the dropshipping space when they get into this, the number one reason why you are going to quit before you see results is because of unrealistic expectations that were set by seeing these results from other people. And I understand you want to get to 10 grand a month. You want to get to 100 grand a month. And those are very realistic goals. However, you need to not be motivated daily by them. You can look at them. It can be on your vision board. I have no problem with that. You should know what it is that you are putting in all this work for. The results, your why. Hopefully it's a little bit deeper than just making money and that money is tied to freedom or taking care of your parents or being able to travel more, freedom, because that's going to be a much deeper why that keeps you motivated during those periods where you are dealing with problems and you're not seeing the results you want and you have a lot of angry customers and you have payment processor holds and ad account bans. You're going to deal with a slew of problems and it is very easy to get overwhelmed and to just throw in the white towel. You don't really have to find excuses. They're going to come and be thrown at you. But you got to be able to dodge and weave. Because if you can dodge a wrench, then you can dodge a dropshipping ad account ban. That's from Dodgeball. I think that's one of the most famous quotes. Now, let's talk just for a second about unrealistic expectations. Dropshipping is about linear progress. It is about incremental progress over time from test 1 to test 5 to test 10 to test 15 to test 20. If you focus on your inputs, and your inputs are product selection, website design and offers, ad creatives, and media buying. If you learn from test 1, oh, I tested things like this, and then I learned that didn't work because my ad creatives did not get clicks. All right, therefore, I'm going to put a little bit more time and effort into studying winning ads. And then from on test 5, you notice, okay, my ads are at a point where they're pretty solid, yet I'm not getting the sales I want on my website. Therefore, let me study some more websites. Let me see what they're doing with their offers, with their funnels, with their copywriting, with those custom product images, with the branding, with the social proof. All those little nerdy nuances you have to be obsessed with. You have to be a nitty-gritty, detail-oriented, OCD obsessed human being if you want to see results. I have not talked to anyone who has gone to 100K a month, $1 million a month in this dropshipping space that was not obsessed with those little details. You have to really love this game beyond just the results and the fancy lifestyle that it can reward and give to you. If you don't truly like e-commerce and dropshipping, then I wouldn't even recommend getting started in the first place, because if you are not obsessed, if you are not willing to give it your all, you are not going to see results. This is not a side income, passive, little hobby business. You are going to get blown out of the water by people that are putting in 10 hours every single day, that are focused on incremental improvements, that are motivated, that are disciplined, that are testing those same products as you. You have no chance in hell. And this is why 99% of people fail, because you have to be able to execute at the top 1%. So how do you execute at the top 1%? How do you develop your skills as fast as possible? Well, you focus on the right actions that garner results. You focus on putting in your product research at least once or twice a week. You focus on studying the best websites, on improving your copywriting, learning from the top copywriters, learning what offer structures are out there. If you watch my videos, I have plenty of videos about the best offer structures, split testing your website, those little details. And I understand when you're a beginner, you probably don't know what you don't know, which in that case, I would recommend learning from someone who does know what they do know, so you can skip that learning curve and know, oh, here are those different things that I never even thought about. I didn't even know those were a thing because I haven't spent enough time in this space. And I would have to have spent years of trial and error to learn those and then get familiar with those, rather than I could have just had those in my first week, have everything on a silver platter. I'd rather have that because I value my time. So if you're focused on time and getting results quickly, which is perfectly fine, then you're most likely going to have to invest to learn from someone who can shortcut that learning curve. And I know whenever I try to learn anything nowadays, I'm always having a coach, whether it's my piano, whether that's golf. You got to have teachers. If you try to learn it by yourself, sure, you'll make progress, but it's going to be so much slower than you think. And you're most likely going to just grow out of that hobby or that business model because it's not growing as fast as you want it to. And that's understandable. But most people are going to quit because they just don't love doing the boring things and that lead to exciting outcomes. If you're not getting enough dopamine from testing a product alone, you're probably not going to stay into this business model long enough. You should feel a sense of satisfaction of creating a good website, of creating good ads, of testing a product the right way to keep you going and keep that ball rolling. The sales is just the reward, but you have to be detached from that outcome to keep going and then get the results that you truly desire. Because it might take one product test, it might take 5, it might take 50. For me, it took 25. I didn't see any return on my investment. On the surface level, if my main barometer for success was just sales. But after those first 9 months to a year, I noticed a dramatic improvement in my marketing skills and my websites and the products that I was selecting. That motivated me. That kept me going because I was like, I'm figuring this out. I'm getting better. I'm almost there. I've almost cracked the code. That's got to be the thing that motivates you in the beginning because you're not going to get sales. That's just how it is. Now, you may be wondering, Ethan, why am I not getting sales if I am putting in the right actions? And that leads me to the second problem that you're going to have outside of just unrealistic expectations and timelines. Because realistically, if you're doing this on your own, it's probably going to take you about a year to see success, a year to 2 years. If you have a coach, probably take you a month to 3 to 4 months. That's about as realistic as you can be. Now, if you have put in that time and you still haven't seen the results, the only issue you have at that point is just your marketing skills are not where they need to be. They're not to par. That means you're running poor ads, you have a poor media buying strategy, and you don't understand your audience. You haven't dug deep enough. And a great example of this is, imagine you have 2 lemonade stands that are competing for your dollar. You got Timmy and Tommy. And Timmy is marketing his lemonade stand by saying, this lemonade is yellow water with sugar. But Tommy, he's a smart dude. He understands how to market. He understands how to persuade. And he says this is freshly hand-squeezed lemonade and it's a family recipe with love. Even though the product is exactly the same, the presentation matters. A lot of times, just think about this as an example. You probably bought a lot of bad products that didn't fulfill what they said they were going to do because of the marketing, because of the expectations they set. And you probably struggled to buy products that were actually amazing for you and actually delivered every single promise they had, but the marketing was just so unappealing and boring. And that's usually the problem most people have. They have a great product that solves a problem, but they just don't know how to market it. They don't understand what actually appeals to their customer, what is relatable, what are the use cases that actually speak to them and show the value as to what this product can do in their lives. It's all marketing. Even though they're selling the same product. Tommy's going to win every single time. Are you going to let Tommy beat you? When I think of the word or the name Tommy, it reminds me of the Batman or the Penguin specifically. Hey, Ma, you want to buy my lemonade? No, that's not it. That's terrible. I used to be able to do the impression. We'll get into that a little later. But marketing, how can you get better at presenting the products? Because a lot of times you are selling products right now that are good enough to become winning products that do $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 a day. It's just you don't know how to present them. Because people don't buy products. They buy the solutions. They buy the presentation. They buy your marketing. It's that important. Your offers, your copywriting, your ad scripts, your ads themselves. That is the real needle mover in your business. How do you get good? I have plenty of videos on that. If I was to really break it down, you just have to understand your audience. How do you understand your audience? You read reviews. I will just constantly see people, and I even had a call with my student yesterday in my one-on-one program, where she was running an ad for a portable steamer, and her main angle was that it would give you more confidence. Her thing was, you have low self-confidence because you're wearing wrinkly clothes when you're on the go or when you're traveling to your business meeting, and that's the main reason why you want to buy this product. And I said to her, that seems a little bit of a stretch. I feel like the majority of people that would buy a portable steamer is because, yes, you are traveling and your clothes are wrinkled. They're a mess, and you don't have an iron with you, and you don't want to go to the dry cleaner. Like, you don't really have a good solution for that. That seems to be more of the problem. And sure, maybe you could tie that to a bigger issue, which is when you are wearing wrinkled clothes, that does lead to you looking unprofessional, maybe not closing a business deal, and not looking as presentable as you could be. You could maybe tie that into that. But confidence was a bit of a stretch. And I asked her, in reviews, did people say they bought this product because they have low self-confidence? And she said, I did not read one person writing that line. I just kind of had that assumption or came to that conclusion based on the problem. And inevitably, her ads failed. They did not resonate with her audience because the audience didn't really feel that spoke to them. That wasn't what they were thinking as to what actually would add value by having this product in their life. It was the portability. It was the convenience. It was, mentioning a use case. Yeah, you're going to use this when you're on the go. You can use this when you're at your home. If you have a pile of wrinkled clothes on your bed that you are just done with staring at, and it's a hassle to iron them because it takes a few minutes for each piece, and you just want a quick portable steamer that will get the job done and keep your clothes wrinkle-free in seconds, then this is why you're going to want this product. That is how you're going to sell it. And if she did market it that way, which I told her, then I could see that product picking up a lot more traction in sales. But there was nothing wrong with the product. It was just because she made assumptions. And that's what a lot of beginner marketers do. Never make assumptions. Never assume why someone buys a product. Read what they have wrote and then reverse engineer the best lines from that. So just gather reviews from competitors, gather reviews from Amazon, read comment sections on TikTok, read comment sections on Reddit, and you will have all the information you could ever need to know to have product market fit, which is the core skill of dropshipping, getting product market fit. Figure out who is the market, what are the problems, what are the pain points, what do they care about, what are the benefits they want, and here's how my product will get them to that desired result. That's all that this is. You are at point A and you want to get to point B. And my product is the bridge between those 2 points. It is the fastest, easiest, most affordable solution for you to go from point A to point B. That is the only reason why people would ever buy your product. Get that through your head when you're marketing, and you are going to make way more sales. Obviously, there's other nuances like understanding how to create a well-structured ad that leads someone to hook them in with curiosity in the beginning and then leads them through here's the problem and identifying that for them so they can come to the conclusion that, oh yeah, that is a big problem. I do want to solve that. I don't know why I've just been dealing with that problem and didn't want to ever solve it. But now that it's come the forefront of my mind because of your ad and you made me aware, I now want to solve that problem while it's still fresh in my mind. That's what your ad is supposed to do. It's supposed to stab that knife. It's supposed to give people a reason to want to buy now because they have such an aching pain point that they could no longer go further through in their life without solving because it's such a hassle. Whether that's them being insecure, not feeling their best self, whether that's a trivial thing like your car tires being deflated. Whatever it is, you have to make them aware of that. Have a well-structured ad that lays out, here's the problem that you have, here's why other solutions are inferior to my product, and then lay out the benefits and the use cases of yours. You need to have a well-structured ad, and you have to do the same thing with your product page. You have to be able to walk someone through a journey as to here's where you're at, here's where you want to go, and here's how our product does that. And here's why it's better than the competitors. Here's the social proof that backs up the claims that we're making, so you can get some third-party evidence and trust from people that aren't affiliated with our brand that also are raving about how amazing it is. And you got an amazing offer that is going to entice them and make them say to themselves, I should buy this product. This is a really good offer. For the value I'm getting, the price that I'm paying is well worth it. I'm getting a good deal. That is the emotion that you need to convey. It's all marketing. Understand the offer, understand the price points. That's another part as well. You have to be able to research what people are willing to pay. You have to research what offers are working right now and come at it from a different angle. The product was never the issue though. But the problem is there's hundreds of other people selling that same exact product, and they're most likely marketing the exact same way as you with the same offers, with the same creatives, because you're all ripping and stealing from each other. And that's why all of you are failing, because you're all competing against each other. You need to be able to outcompete people in order to see results. And that all comes from understanding marketing. Now, the final reason people usually fail in this game is that they're just not disciplined. They can't manage their time. They don't focus on high impact tasks. They don't focus on trying to build momentum, and they just have general poor habits. And no matter what business model you will try, fundamentally how you are as a human being right now is never going to be conducive to be successful in any business model. And there's some people that have the right habits and have the right time management and the right discipline that no matter what business model they try, they will always become successful. It is who you are fundamentally as a person. And that's where you have to really self-reflect. Am I someone who is deserving of making 10 grand a month, 100 grand a month, whatever your goal is? What would the person and version of myself that's doing 100 grand a month be doing every single day? What would be the habits? What would be their schedule? What would be the things they do every single day? And are my actions and my schedule and my discipline the exact same? Do I reflect those values, or is there a gap? Because before you become someone who makes 100 grand a month, you have to adopt the lifestyle and the habits and the discipline of that person well before you ever hit that goal. But if you do adopt those habits, it becomes inevitable, and you realize once you do hit 100 grand a month, yeah, of course, this was always going to happen because I took the right actions. So this is where you have to self-analyze and really realize to yourself, am I disciplined enough? Am I sacrificing short-term pleasure and comfort for a long-term comfort? Am I able to sacrifice watching my favorite shows, of watching sports, of following my friends on social media and checking my Instagram every 2 seconds? Am I willing to sacrifice those things that aren't aiding me really at all, but are providing me this little bit of comfort and dopamine? Am I willing to sacrifice that in the short term to get the long-term benefits and comfort of being able to take care of my family, being able to be financially free, of affording whatever it is that I want or need? And I mean, when you really think about it, it should be a no-brainer to you, but for some reason, you haven't been able to commit that to yourself. You haven't been willing to give up those short-term pleasures. And if you want to be successful in business, you really have to do that. You have to audit yourself, audit those habits that are not aiding you and not giving you value, and be willing to sacrifice them for the long-term vision, for the long-term goals, the long-term comfort and security that you will get. And I know in the present, in the moment, it's going to be difficult. I know for me, I had to give up video games. I don't play video games anymore. When I was in high school, I played video games 8 hours a day. When I was in middle school, I played 8 hours a day. I didn't want to talk to people. I just wanted to play Minecraft and FIFA and gamble all my parents' money away. I mean, someone's got to get that Cristiano Ronaldo Team of the Year, and by golly, I'm going to make sure it's me. But I had to give all that away, even though it was a pretty core part of my identity, because I just realized I was obsessive about it. I could not stop thinking about it, and it was really holding me back. And I had to ask myself, do I want to keep living the life I'm living right now of barely making any money, but being able to be happy because I'm playing video games, for a life where I will be happy with myself and my life and actual real world experiences rather than things on a screen? And it's up to you. In terms of managing time, I always think it's good to just time block. I've shown a million times my journal, productivity journal. It's called the Finisher's Journal, where I will time block every single hour of the day so I know exactly what I should be doing. And I also can focus on the high priority tasks. Because typically, the people that get the most done are just people that focus on 2 to 3 things a day that need to get done. Not 100 different things, not a lot of little micro tasks to try to convince yourself that you're busy because, oh, wow, look at all the 30 different things I did. No. Focus on 1 to 2 to 3 main things that actually move the needle, which in dropshipping is doing your product research, building your website, creating your ads, and that is it. Obviously, media buying too. But for a lot of people that are intelligent, they just focus too much on, I think, learning. And that's why I see so many people that do have a lukewarm Celsius IQ that are too dumb to overthink end up being the ones that make the most money. Because they're just so action biased. They don't think. They don't want to learn. They just want to do things. And they realize that through performing the actions that I just mentioned, they are going to naturally learn. They're going to naturally gain this experience that they would have never gotten from just watching videos of other people doing this. And they would have had different scenarios and questions and obstacles that hit them that they would have never been able to understand or ask or realize that would be a problem in the future if all they were doing is just learning and studying other people. So you have to be someone that has action bias. That is one of the main core habits you have to be able to adopt. And you have to realize that, there are just certain seasons in life, and I think this is a great season right now for work and focusing on your goals and focusing on the right things. There's always seasons for life and balance and things of that nature, but I really do believe during these times, Q4 trench times, it is a war out here, people, and you need to be putting as much time as you can into those right actions, having an action bias. Stop focusing on learning, focus on doing, putting in those product tests, being efficient, focus on speed, because again, the more tests you do, naturally the quality of those tests will rise as you get more efficient with creating those ads, of studying what's working on the website front as well, and just being able to understand, okay, yeah, I've tested 10 products that were like this, and those are clearly not working for me, so let me adopt and change to these types of products. But you only know what will work for you when you test. That is it. So I hope you learned something in this video about the main reasons why dropshippers fail and how you can avoid it by focusing on these fundamental things that will get you the results. It might not be today, it might not be next week, but if you do focus on these inputs and these value habits, you are going to be successful no matter what. Now, as a quick rant, because I know every single one of you wants to know about my dating life. Oh, hubba, awooga. Had a recent interesting experience. I'll try to be as brief as possible because I know this video is long and you guys have the attention span of a Rottweiler who is chasing a cat. Or you're basically just like a cat at a laser show, at a rave. I recently encountered this fine Latina specimen when I was at my line dancing bar who was dancing like no other girl. She was moving her hips like Shakira. Those hips were not lying. And when she left the dance floor, I immediately approached her and I said, "Hey, you look familiar." She said, "Do I?" And I said, "Yeah, I think you were posted on the Instagram story of this bar." And she's like, "Oh yeah, I was." So we were talking, we were chatting. I was doing my usual lines. I was able to make her laugh and we kind of hit it off. I got her Instagram, got her number. Beautiful Brazilian girl. And we ended up seeing each other the next night because my friends and I, it was about 6 of us, were going to that same bar. I think it was just some event. So we got there at around 9 o'clock and she said she would get there at 9 as well. However, it got to 9:30 and she wasn't there. And then at 10 o'clock, she wasn't there. And then at around 10:30, I was thinking to myself, you know what? I'm just going to find another girl here tonight because clearly this girl, it just ain't it. I'm tired of waiting. And I was getting a lot of shit from my friends about, oh, yeah, she hasn't shown up. Where's your girlfriend? I guess she ditched you. I guess, yeah, what do they call it? It's not ditched. It's stood up. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to go look around. But then suddenly she came in, she hugged me, and we were riding the mechanical bull like one by one. I rode it for around 40 seconds, showing my dominance. I can really ride. Pause. She only did it for a few seconds and got bucked off. And I was like, oh. She's going to have trouble with me if she ever gets that privilege, if she can only last a second on the ride in that bull. Wait till she meets the real bull. I know. Terrible. So eventually we hit it off, and she really loves dancing. She used to be a dance teacher. So we were dancing, I think, more than I ever had at that bar for 3 straight hours. We were on the dance floor. And line dancing is where you need to know the specific dance. There's only one dance that is right. So we were learning them, looking like idiots. But it was super fun. She was really bubbly, very charismatic, very fun, very feminine. Love her energy. It's one of the best energies I've ever encountered. So we end up texting for a bit. And we go on a date on Tuesday, and we went to this Italian joint. Lovely. We're doing bits. We were laughing. Our humors are very similar. We love talking shit. I love a girl who can flirt bully. That's one of my kinks, if you will. And I eventually did bring up one objection I had about her, because when I studied her Instagram, she's a beautiful girl, and she used to model. She has a lot of photos on her Instagram of her in lingerie. Rot-roll. Showing those tushes, and she's got a really nice butt. It's like top 3 favorite butts. But she shows it off, and I am not a fan of that. I am a Christian boy. I believe in modesty. I believe in dressing appropriately and posting things that are not meant to be seen by, in her case, 40,000 followers, in which she has. I don't want to share that butt with 40,000 people. So I brought it up, and she said, I'll think about it, and maybe, I'll adapt, because maybe I've grown past that. And I was like, okay, cool. And at the end of the date, we were outside, and a gust of wind blew up her dress. She was wearing a dress, and it was kind of like Marilyn Monroe, where her skirt, raises up, and her ass was showing. She literally said, "Oh my God, my ass is showing." And I said, "Well, that's not a first for you. I mean, it's not anything you're not used to." And she punched me in the dick. I think that's the first time that's ever happened to me. And I doubled down. I was on the ground for about 30 seconds, and I doubled down. I looked her in the eyes, and I said, "Do it again. I like that." And she almost did. And she used to do kickboxing, so she can actually throw a punch. And I was like, whoa, okay, chill, relax. So we end up kissing, blah, 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 blah. And then the thing I did forget to mention is on Saturday. So we met a Friday, went on the date on Tuesday, but on Saturday, that second time where I was with my boys, we danced for 3 straight hours. And at 1 a.m., we went back to her place and cuddled and watched The Notebook. I know, super cutesy. Look at me, super cutesy, super demure. I do love my rom-coms. We actually watched The Notebook, and we just cuddled that night. And the next morning, I was playing with her cats. We ordered breakfast in bed. We were just eating and watching Barcelona. She's a big soccer fan. Oh my God. So many green flags. I might be cuffed. This might be the one. Loves soccer, loves line dancing, and just the energy. She's so beautiful. The energy was amazing. Then we go on another date. We go to Dave & Buster's. She loves Dave & Buster's. She was actually kicking my ass at a few of these games, and it was super cute. Like, the energy was there, having a great time. And yeah, like, I was really like, oh my God, I might fall for this girl. Like, I legit. But then eventually I start to learn more about her, and I start to realize some of the values just aren't aligning. The Instagram thing was rough. Learned she's an atheist. That also made it rough. Also, she's 25, but had been divorced when she was 18. She got married and she was divorced when she was 21. And I was like, okay, there's a lot of baggage here. There's a lot of things. And I think just values were just not aligned as much as I'd like on core things like modesty. Also, she smoked hookah every time that I was over at her place. And I was like, yeah, I don't want a partner that smokes. So there was just a few things that unfortunately were off, but it was a fun time. Had a fun experience. If you're wondering, did I ever get into the sack? On the 3rd date, yes. It was a lovely time. That's as far as I'll keep it. I hope you guys have a terrific Friday night. And I hope this weekend you progress in your dropshipping stores. You focus on the right things. Incremental improvement, ladies and gentlemen. And I will see you in the next raw video.